In this lesson, we'll talk about how we can set up procedures that accept arguments. Now, we've seen arguments before when it comes to some of VBA's built-in methods. Well, we can actually define procedures that are going to accept their own inputs as well. Let me begin here by defining a new procedure. I'm going to call it write calculation to sheet. What I want to do here is just declare a numeric variable. I'm going to call it math calculation. It's going to be a long or a whole number. And let's say I'm just going to create an arbitrary multiplication expression here. Let's do 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. Let's say I want to do 3 things here. The first thing I want to do is to log this message to the immediate window or the console with debug print. The second thing I want to do is to output it with our message box. And the third thing I want to do is to actually write it to the sheet in cell A1. Now, this is a very simplified example because all of these things are pretty simple one-line bits of code. But you can imagine if our macro starts to get really, really long, for example, 50 lines, 30 lines, we may want to split it into multiple procedures. That way, we can encapsulate related clumps of code together in a separate procedure and then simply invoke that procedure from our main procedure, as we saw in the last lesson. So let's say I want to do 3 things here again: log, output, and write. Let's define a procedure to do each one of those things, and then I'm going to actually invoke that procedure from within write calculation to sheet. So right here, I can define a procedure called log message to console. I'm going to open my parentheses. Here's my end sub. And here we run into our very first question, which is, how is log message to console going to have access to the thing that it needs to actually output to the immediate window? We know that we have debug print. Debug print accepts a value, but where is that value going to be coming from? We know that our variables within a procedure are scoped within that actual procedure. So the math calculation here, let me actually change this typo, math calculation here is only available within write calculation to sheet. So how can we give it to log message to console? Well, we can actually pass it in as an input or as an argument. So let me just write out the procedure invocation first. Log message to console, we know that we're going to have to give that procedure its argument, which is going to be math calculation. So how can we actually tell log message to console to expect a single parameter or argument? Well, all we have to do is just define it within the parentheses. Now, the name of the parameter that we give here, of course, does not have to match the variable that's being passed in. This variable is, remember, just a name for some kind of mathematical value. It's just a number. Here we're actually defining the name of the parameter or the name of the input that we're expecting. So I can just call that something like value. This can be anything: value, number, even input. The only other thing we need to do here, though, is to tell VBA not just the name of the parameter, but what kind of data type VBA should expect. The way I do that is the same way I declare variables. I use the as keyword, a space, and then I declare the data type. So our value is going to be what kind of value? It's going to be a long. So now we've told log message to console that it's going to expect a single input or parameter. We're going to call that value. Math calculation is going to be the argument for that input. It's going to be a long or a whole number. And now that we have it, we can go ahead and output it to the immediate window with debug print and value. Let's go through this process a few more times. Right below here, I want to define a procedure that's going to message box the value out to the user. So what I can do is just write a procedure like output message to user. And right here, again, we have to define the input and or the parameters, it's also called. And because, remember, all of the procedures are separate entities and they're all scoped differently, including the parameters, not just the local variables, we can actually give the input or parameter the same name as we did to the procedure above. We can call it value. It doesn't have to be value in either case, but why not keep it the same? Keeps things simplified here. So value is once again going to be a long. Once I close this, VBA is going to complete my end sub. In this case, I'm going to just message box the value. Now again, this procedure doesn't actually do anything until it's invoked, until we actually use it. So here in write calculation to sheet, what I can do is actually write output message to user. That's what I actually want to use. Open my parentheses, pass in the same argument of math calculation. Close this. It looks like VBA is actually adding an additional space here. Totally fine. It's just correcting our syntax. This should all be valid. And let's do one more example. In fact, if you want to practice this yourself, you're more than welcome to pause the video and try. What we want to do in our third and final procedure is take in the value and simply write it to cell A1. How can we do that? Well, we define a procedure, write value to sheet. It's going to take an input. Let's call our input value once again. Is it going to be a different data type? Nope, it's still going to be a long. All right, what do we want to do here? Let's target range A1. Let's write in the value, and I'm just going to do range A1 value equals value. Totally valid syntax, remember, because this value represents the argument that's being passed in. This is just evaluating to a number, while this value is a property on the range object. Last thing we need to do, of course, is to actually write the invocation right here, write value to sheet. I'm going to do the right syntax here and actually offer a space here. Once again, we're going to pass in math calculation, and that's it. So hopefully you're also starting to get a sense of how refactoring into multiple procedures can help you make code that's a little bit leaner. You can see that because we've refactored all these operations to separate procedures, this one isn't that long anymore. Granted, all of these things are still one line, so it would have been the same number of lines, but you can imagine if this represented some kind of step of sequences that was something like 5 lines or 10 lines, we can make our code a little bit more concise by refactoring things into separate procedures. That way it's just more lightweight for each procedure. Each one's kind of its own self-contained box of functionality, and we don't have one super long procedure that becomes hard to interpret. Let's go ahead and see what happens here. Obviously, these are going to be executed in sequential order, so they should happen in the order in which they're written. So I'm going to press F5. First thing that's going to happen, we have our debug print. It happens right here. Remember, that happens instantaneously to the immediate window. Then it moves on to the message box. That's why this thing pops up. The message box actually puts a pause on everything. That's why we're not seeing the value here in cell A1 yet. Once I click OK, there it is. And that's all there is to cover in this lesson. We talked about creating procedures that accept arguments. By the way, of course, this might seem obvious, but you're not limited to longs. You can put whatever data type you want in here. You can put strings or booleans. You're also, of course, not limited to single inputs or single arguments. You can, of course, just define multiple ones. All you have to do here is just simply put a comma and declare the next parameter. Again, just give it the name, the as keyword, and the data type, and then you can use 2 parameters, 3 parameters, as many as you want in a procedure. That's all there is to cover here. I'll see you in the next lesson.